On the question of the naming of the National Stadium, I should start by saying I was too young to know what happened when the old Windsor Park came into existence. The year, I understand, was 1940. Now, to name a stadium, I would think, depends on a number of considerations. What is the function of the facility? In our consideration here, we'd say football, cricket, or perhaps a little bit of otherwise. It would be interesting to note what's stated on the signboard at the stadium. I think this initial signboard says Dominica National Sports Stadium or whatever it is. Labeling of the facility or the venue and its component parts or segments is a consideration that one has to look at a number of things. It stands to reason that persons who are honored within the stadium would have had a prominent association with activities or events that are expected to be promoted at the stadium. How do we go about recognizing the claims of anyone, dead or alive, to be tagged on to the stadium? Who do we consider as having validly conclusive national acclaim? Certainly, cricket and football are the two major sports one tends to associate with a stadium of this kind, coming within our own specific context. I can think of the following names in preeminent positions in our cricketing past. We've had people like Augustus Val Felix, former Dominica batsman and captain, Alec Reid, former Dominica and Windward Islands wicket keeper, Irving Shillingford, specialist batsman, well, like Val Felix, a specialist batsman. Irving Shillingford, too, was captain of Dominica, Windward's Islands, and Combined Islands. Grayson Shillingford, Dominica's first Test cricketer and a former captain of Dominica, and of course he played for Windward's and the Combined Islands. Caleb Lora, former Dominica off-spin bowler, stalwart, premier bowler, spin bowler in Windward Islands, and he played also for Combined Windward and Leeward Islands. Clem John, former Dominica specialist batsman and captain Dominica, Windward Islands, and Combined Windward and Leeward Islands. Norbert Phillip, all-rounder, who captained Dominica, Windward Islands, and he also has been a Test cricketer like Irving Shillingford and Grayson Shillingford. Norbert Phillip played Test cricket for Dominica, for West Indies, and he also played county cricket for Essex in England. Then there's Augustus Gregoire, former Dominica captain and wicket keeper, and one after whom the National Cricket League was named. Then there's Lockhart Sebastian, specialist opening batsman for Dominica, the Windward Islands, and Combined Islands. There's Thomas Kentish, all-rounder for Dominica and Windward Islands, and captain of Dominica. Roy Marshall, former Dominica all-rounder, spin bowler, and hard-hitting batsman. Of course, in the administrative organizing field, we've got Philip G. Arlene, former umpire and founder of the Dominica Cricket Umpires Association, and he was a regional umpire as well. He also founded the Dominica Football Referees Association. Of course, there are many others. Some you would call legends from antiquity. From the football heritage point of view, the following names come to mind very easily. Names like Sharp Elwin, legendary right winger, Cuthbert McIntyre, very wonderful all-round footballer, and one, of course, who took the whole question of football coaching to serious lengths. There's Alan Guy, fine strategist and midfield player. Alec Reid, his name comes up again, as one of the greatest footballers Dominica has produced. He played fullback and could have played anywhere on the football field. His brother Joe Reed, midfield engine in itself. Philip Reed, one of the best forwards, inside forwards we've ever seen. And more recently we've had people like Clem John again, and Irving Benoit, and others, and others. Now, enhanced claims from the regional perspective is a consideration in naming a stadium, let us say, in our context. And coming readily to mind, in cricket, we've got, of course, specialist batsman who mentioned earlier, Irving Shillingford. He scored 8 centuries in regional cricket, so he ranks at the same level in that regard as the legendary Sir Viv Richards. Then Lockett Sebastian scored 5 centuries, and in effect he has the same tally there as each of the individual legendary W's, Weeks, Worrell and Walcott. Now bowlers, we have to look at the exploits of the bowlers. Now Caleb Lora, who incidentally is not well at the moment, he dominated Windward's cricket as a spin bowler, and he took 11 for 170 against Guyana, match tally, and 6 for 39 against the Leewards, and a lot of other very good figures. Grayson Shillingford, 6 for 77 against Barbados. He took 6 for 49 against Trinidad, and I think that took place at Windsor Park. 5 for 79 against the Leewards, and 5 for 82 against Jamaica. Norbert Phillip, 5 for 43 against Guyana, then 10 for 130 against Guyana, match tally there. 5 for 49 against Trinidad, another 5 for 47 against Trinidad, 6 for 41 against Jamaica, 6 for 90 against Jamaica, and 7 for 33 against the Leewards at Windsor Park. Now, you shouldn't forget Thomas Kentish, who was Dominica captain, and he dominated Windward's cricket as an all-rounder. 6 for 60 he took in wickets against Barbados with his off-spin, 5 for 88 against Trinidad, 5 for 98 against Leewards, and 5 for 110 against Barbados. So we've got lots of performers, pure and simple, who one might think may have credible claims towards having their name posted on the stadium or parts or segments of the stadium. Now in all this, we don't hear any proposal whatsoever to be decent or gracious by perpetuating the name of a most important sporting benefactor, and that is the name of L. Rose and Company, who ran an estate which contributed towards Dominica being the foremost lime producer in the world at one time. And that company, L. Rose and Company, they provided the land for the Botanic Gardens, on which is situated the cricket ground, which has been the forerunner of Windsor Park Stadium. L. Rose and Company also provided the land for Windsor Park itself, and at one time they gave an extension of land on the eastern side of the park to extend the park further. And they gave the land which forms the precincts of the Dominica Grammar School, which is contiguous to the stadium. And they gave also the land which forms the Bath Estate housing scheme and also the housing scheme at Elmsall. The firm of L. Rose and Company was not bound to have given over their land free. I hope we have not missed any other overriding claims in respect of nomenclatures to be placed in respect of the National Stadium at Windsor Park.